Today I want to do the Booktube Bio Booktag. Number 1. Who are you? I'm Jess. I'm in my late 30s, early 40s. I've got 2 companion animals. I'm a wife. I mostly work from home. I love reading and writing and editing and pretty much everything storytelling wise. There's very little angle that you could come at me with a story that I wouldn't want to talk to you about it. In my off time, I love gardening and being outside. I love spending time with friends and family. I'm also a pretty big fan of cooking for people and figuring out what favorite flavors you have and introducing you to new favorite flavors. 2. How long have you been on Booktube? 4, almost 5 years. 3, what kind of books do you love to read? And has Booktube had an effect on what you read? I like speculative fiction. That's going to be fantasy, science fiction, and horror. I also like to read romances that cross over into those areas. And I have a very big soft spot for everything gothic. As far as whether or not Booktube has influenced me, of course it has. I take so many different recommendations from so many other fellow booktubers and find different books, genres, niches I wouldn't otherwise have read. Like way back in 2021, I got into alien romance and monster romance because it was booming in popularity. I've followed the romantasy arc as far as I can. I read a ton of gothic horror and regular horror that's recommended here on Booktube. And I've been a lot more tuned into what books are releasing when and like picking up those new releases, which is something that I never gave a crap about before starting a Booktube. I would have told you that books don't have seasons or times like where they're relevant or trendy in the popular zeitgeist. They only have like seasons and trends within your own personal internal life. And since starting a Booktube, I can tell you that there's definitely booming books that are having moment in the popular world as well as like maybe connecting to you personally too. Number 4, what do you enjoy about making Booktube videos? I like reading. I like the scripting. And I like the editing. I'm kind of not a big fan of the filming in front of the camera moment. For me personally, I have to set up an area. I have to hope that the lighting and the sound and all that stuff is working out. And I have to like be on. And I don't know that I do a great job being like, I don't know, energetic enough on camera or interesting or engaging. I feel very self-conscious about like what I'm saying and how I'm saying it and all my hand movements and gestures. And sometimes I just want to delete the whole memory card before I even upload it to edit it. Also, I like the creating process and I like the editing process. And this is like a middle part that needs to happen if I plan to have a video, but it's not the creative writing scripting part, and it's certainly not the fun editing, final say, putting it together, making it look like something moment. Just feels really kind of like awkward and like a lot of work for nothing potentially. 5, what do you not enjoy about making Booktube videos? So besides the filming, which is my least favorite part, I'd say storing all of the stuff it takes to make Booktube videos. By that I mean the actual video files, the elements I need for Final Cut Pro, all of the B-roll, all of the sound effects potentially for some of them that have sound. It is a lot of files and memory and storage. And thankfully I have a space for that because my husband likes to keep a cloud server, but I still have to keep it sorted and organized and cleaned up and managed, or otherwise it would just be like a hectic hellscape of a mess. As it is, it's not like super well organized. I improve each year, but it probably takes me a while to like figure out how to sort it, balance it, keep it all clean, and keep it to like a minimum storage space where I don't just have a million things everywhere and like a bunch of needless backup and excess. Also, I don't like when it feels like I'm chasing a trend. Because my views are not where I want them to be on these videos, I do spend a fairly significant amount of time looking at what other people are doing, looking at what their outliers are, and seeing if I could contribute to that in some kind of way. But I don't want to be doing that, to be honest with you. I want to do what I want to do, and I want people just to come here because it's awesome. It doesn't work that way, but I do feel like I overemphasize that element. I spend way more time than I want doing those parts. 6, what video on your channel are you most proud of? That's kind of hard to answer. I have like 300 videos at this point in time. And honestly, I'm not proud of every single one. Especially the older ones feel very cringe now that like I have a more sophisticated technique or a better handle on how to edit and film and do all that stuff. But I am kind of proud of most of them, even ones I wouldn't recommend anymore because I think like the pacing or the editing or the sound is just not there. I'm proud of what I did at that time and how far I pushed or how much I had grown and learned in that moment. Right now, I'd say that I'm probably most proud of my standalone reviews. And that's kind of sort of cheating because that's probably like a third of my video catalog, but like I really like my Gothic standalone reviews and I really like my deep dive analytical standalone reviews too. Just because I feel like I put a lot of thought and effort both into the script and then like into the editing and detail elements on the back end. Number 7, is there anything you wish was different about Booktube? Obviously I do. I wish there was more diversity on who is presenting on Booktube and what booktubers are reading. I think I do pretty well to curate a more diverse list than many people, but I do notice that my Booktube feed is predominantly younger white female people sitting and talking about books, and I do notice that there is more attention to like buzzy book talky books, often sort of like fluffy romantic-y things right now, or like fluffy romances or steamy romances, and there are other things. And it is hard for me because I am also a white femme person. I'm probably a little bit older than that target age range, but still close enough. So I'm saying like I wish there were more people who are not like me on the platform while I am here clogging up the feeds. And on top of that, I am also sometimes part of the problem because I'm reading those buzzy book talk reads too, and like those random romances and stuff. Often things that I wouldn't usually pick up or am not even that interested in. You know, I just need to have enough interest to actually read it and write a script. And I'm doing that specifically because it is popular and I am trying to get those views. But it's not actually helping me create a diversity of content or to diversify content in a way that I would prefer as a viewer as well as a creator. When it comes to actual content production, I do feel like it is a little bit of a balancing act because if you don't have those mainstays that are popular and trending in the community, you're gonna have a hard time growing your channel. But I also think like there's so much value in presenting your own unique set of stories, your own unique view and perspective, and part of how you do that is by talking about things that you love to read or things that grabbed your interest that maybe are a little off the beaten path. Name 3 books that you've reviewed on your channel that you feel represent you as a reader. Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. It's dark, supernatural, sapphic, and gothic. It doesn't to me nail the supernatural execution in a way that I appreciated, but these things I love in a story. And Kat Dunn executes all of this at an extremely high level, and I really appreciate that kind of attention to detail, the way that she made it all tie in, and the multiple angles she approached the subject matter. Maybe I didn't love my reading experience on, but I liked how much there was to chew on when I was done. You Let Me In by Camilla Bruce. Dark, gothic, sort of cottagecore, dangerous, fae kind of territory. I loved how moody this was. I love that it's written in an epistolary style. Journal entries, newspaper clippings, that kind of stuff really is my bag when it comes to like how to tell a story. And I love the component of like questioning the character's mental sanity and how it's tackled in this kind of literature. And then lastly, I guess I'm going to say Fourth Wing. I didn't personally like love this story or even enjoy it all that much, but I had a really good time reading it because it was campy, it was vibes forward, it had dragons, and I love dragons and anything kind of like shifter adjacent, although shifters aren't involved in this. Not to mention that I spent basically a movie's runtime talking about this book already, and being way too analytical with something that hasn't quote unquote earned it is kind of like my hallmark. Name 3 bookish content creators whose content inspires you. I'd say Natalie over at Weirdo Book Club. I love her long reviews, whether they're rant reviews or reviews of stuff she loved. She does this thing taking you step by step through the plot as kind of as if you're reading it together, and she reads direct quotes like with voices for the characters in the story, and it's really entertaining. It's such a good time. According to Alina, does really thoughtful, bordering on video essays kind of booktube works, and even though I don't always agree with her takes, I love how she structures the video, how it's easy to see how she got from point A to point B. I think the structure, I think the subject matter, all of that is just very engaging for me. And of course, I'm in love with anything my name Marie Marinas does. She has a great book club, the House Salt Book Club. She also has the Panelist podcast, and I also watch those and enjoy all of the interplay between her and her other bookish friends and what they've read and their takes on that too. And of course, in her standalone channel, she has great discussion videos about things happening in the larger bookish world. She does an excellent job with reviewing individual books and using those books to tackle specific social or economic problems as she sees them. I love when she talks about something publishing related. I think she has a great view on that and gives some specific expertise and an interesting way to engage with it. And then lastly, as a bonus, I'd say Bex over at Bex Reads is really inspiring to me because she really pulls the community together and draws in other booktubers and works with them in a partnership, not just by having a book club, but by doing different reading challenges and community vlogs. She shouts out a whole bunch of lesser known booktubers too and does their kind of book challenges as well. I just think she's got such a great central community building focus, and it's really inspired me this year to try and get more involved in the book club community. But it also has given me different queer specific focal ways to do that. Number 10 is to tag someone. If you're watching this, go on and consider yourself tagged and talk to me in those comments down below. What do you enjoy most about watching booktube videos? And the secret emoji today is gonna be a thumbs up emoji. I know that's basic, but sometimes that's just the way it is, guys. And as always, keep reading.